Okay, Broncos country, looks like we are live, but you guys know the drill by now. We got to let the stream breathe for just a second here and make sure that everything is nice and stable all across the YouTube platform. Welcome in, Broncos country. Obviously, not the way that we had hoped for the season to end, but a successful season nonetheless. The Denver Broncos fall to the Buffalo Bills 31-7 in the wild card round of the playoffs. And of course, everybody is going to be disappointed with the way that the Denver Broncos played, especially on defense today. But overall, there is still so much to be optimistic about moving forward with this team. This team has found their franchise quarterback. Bo Nix has proven that he is the guy moving forward for this team. This team has also shown that they have the ability on offense to go into Buffalo and play a strong game. Defensively, they got outclassed today. They weren't even in the same weight group as the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen completely tore them apart. The Bills' run game completely tore them apart. It was not a good day at the office for the Denver Broncos defense. There are guys on this team that just are not going to cut it next year. This team is going to have to upgrade at several positions. Linebacker is probably the biggest position of note here. The linebacker group for the Denver Broncos, Cody Barton, Justin Sternad, it is not good enough. And Alex Singleton is going to be returning from injury next year, but I believe he's going to be cut. I think that the Denver Broncos need to completely revamp their linebacking room in 2025. Additionally, PJ Lockett, safety. He did not play well in this game. He was not playing good football down the stretch. That's another area where the Denver Broncos are going to have to make some changes. The running back position. Most likely, that was Javonte Williams' final game in a Broncos uniform. They're going to have to add some personnel there. At the center position as well. This is going to be an offseason where a lot of changes are made here in Denver, and this is going to be an offseason where the Broncos can add to positions of need, and they can potentially get over that hump. And like I said at the end of the game stream, next year, my expectations for this Broncos team is AFC Championship game or bust. Let's start saying hi to some people here, and keep an eye, guys, and let me know when Sean Payton is at the podium. That way I can go ahead and transition off of this stream and bring in the post-game conferences. We got Devin in the house saying, great season, but on to next season. I know it's a bit early, but are there any free agents you could see coming to Denver? I think T. Higgins at the wide receiver position, that's going to be a big one that a lot of people here in Broncos country are going to keep an eye on. A trade target potentially for Denver is going to be David Njoku for me. I'm going to start heavily pushing that David Njoku narrative again. So there are plenty of guys, but right now, I'm going to be moving especially into the direction of the draft because I'm going to be going down to the East-West Shrine Bowl in Dallas, Texas here in about 2 weeks. That's going to be really, really fun, and we'll get our first look at some future Broncos that could be coming in through the draft. Cut Moss and Franklin. Too many drops. Could have been a touchdown game. I do agree with you that Troy Franklin, he definitely needs some time to sit back and marinate. I'm not in the position of cutting him, but Troy Franklin needs some more time to marinate. It was good to see him and Bo finally connect on that deep ball, on that deep post on the first drive of the game. But ultimately, after that, it just wasn't good enough. Franklin had a bad drop. Cortland Sutton had a bad drop. Bo Nix did have a bad miss on that honey hole shot. But overall, Bo Nix played sensational today. He was awesome. I have no complaints with how Bo Nix played. This was not on Bo. And this really was not an offensive loss for me. This was 100% a defensive loss where you just got outplayed and outclassed against a much better team. This Buffalo Bills team is a Super Bowl or bust unit. If they do not at least make the Super Bowl this year, this is going to be a failure of a season for the Buffalo Bills, and most likely Sean McDermott is going to get fired. That is the expectation for this Bills team. The expectation coming into this game for the Broncos was that they would at least come into this game and challenge the Bills, and I would argue offensively, at least at the quarterback position, they were able to do that. Too many drops today, way too many yards left on the field in the run game. That falls on Sean Payton to an extent for me, but overall, this loss was because you did not have the personnel on defense, especially at linebacker and safety, to keep up with a high-flying Buffalo Bills offense that can beat you both on the ground and through the air. Payton said they were young and hungry. They were just young today. they were young, and at the beginning of the game, they were hungry. But once it became apparent that the Bills were just in a much higher weight class than they were, the Broncos did kind of crumble down a little bit on defense, which you didn't want to see. That was not great. But at the end of the day, that's what's going to happen, man. This team is just a better team than you are. Why did Williams even touch the ball? There were a couple of situations in particular where I was not pleased with Williams getting the ball, especially that draw play where he stumbled out the gate. It could have gone for 10 yards, but the stumble out the gate, it ended up preventing a big gain. That was frustrating. I'm just making sure that Sean Payton has not hit the podium yet. I imagine it's going to be a little bit before Sean hits the podium. Obviously, guys in the locker room are heartbroken after this loss. They expected to win this game, even if we as fans and analysts didn't expect to win. The Broncos went into this game expecting to win, so you know that the guys in the locker room are going to be heartbroken and devastated, like any team playing their final game of the year, a loss in the playoffs. So I imagine that it's going to be a little bit before Sean Payton actually does end up taking the podium for this one. Okay, so Adam Schefter just tweeted out, Broncos key free agents this offseason. Javonte Williams, probably not going to be back. Cody Barton, probably not going to be back. Justin Sternod. I thought Sternod got extended. That's interesting. I'll have to double check that one. But I don't think he's going to be back either, quite frankly. Little Jordan Humphrey, questionable on if he's going to be back. DJ Jones, I do think he'll be back, but maybe Denver wants to make a move and get better on the D-line. I think DJ should be back, though. Riley Dixon, he should absolutely be back. Matt Peart, yeah, bring him back as a swing tackle. Michael Burton, 100% should be back. Traymon Smith, 100% should be back. He is a special teams ace. Zach Cunningham, probably going to be gone. Jarrett Stidham, 100% should be back. Quinn Bailey, who missed the entire season as a swing guard and tackle with a broken leg. And then Zach Wilson. I do think that both Stidham and Wilson should be back. I think that this quarterback room should stay together for one more year. They've got a good camaraderie and a good chemistry between all of the guys in that unit. So I do believe they should make an effort to keep both Jarrett Stidham and Zach Wilson for one more year. But as far as guys that are probably going to be departing in free agency, I'm looking at Javonte Williams. I'm looking at Cody Barton. I'm looking at Justin Sternod. I'm looking at possibly DJ Jones if they want to get younger and cheaper at that position. We'll see what happens. Are you going to be streaming in Dallas? Yes, I sure will. I'll be checking in after the Shrine Bowl practices. If I get any interviews with players, I will be streaming that live. I don't know what access I will have. I'll still have to see what type of media credential I end up getting, if I can even get one at all. But regardless, I will be in that area for the Shrine Bowl. Hopefully, I'll be able to get into the practices and I'll be able to get all of that action in person. But if not, I'll be in that area. I'll be able to hook up with various members of the media and get some inside intel from people who are inside as to who we could be looking at for future Denver Broncos coming out of the draft. We got Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter down there at the Shrine Bowl. Obviously, they're not going to have any chance of being Broncos, but it's going to be cool, hopefully, getting to see them practice. I'm really excited for that. To win playoff games, you need a running game. We haven't had that all year, yet we still made the playoffs. Just think what happens when they finally do get a running game, when they upgrade at the center position, when they finally get a true three-down back. Imagine where this team can go once they finally do have a consistent run game. Special teams didn't look very good today. I thought Riley Dixon was really good. I thought that he made some really nice plays. I thought that he put the ball really well. I thought that he had a couple of punts inside the 20. That was good. But Will Lutz missing that field goal definitely did kill your overall vibes on special teams. Nice of us to spot you a touchdown. You had a good season. Hey, man, they earned that touchdown. That first touchdown, it looked like offensively they were going to be in that rhythm all game long. Unfortunately, the drops on offense just killed you. You think about that bad drop that Cortland Sutton had, that bad drop that Troy Franklin had. But at the end of the day, the Broncos offense just didn't have a whole lot of possessions because your defense couldn't get off the field. I guarantee you that the Bills completely dominated that time of possession battle, especially in the first half. You think about that first drive coming out of halftime for Denver where you had a chance to even this thing up, but Obviously, you had that killer drop from Troy Franklin. Will Lutz missed that field goal before halftime. The Broncos had opportunities, but ultimately they couldn't capitalize, and Buffalo pulled away when it mattered most. Yeah, it just sucks. I don't think Ashton Jeanty will be there when we pick. I like the running back from Arizona State, Cam Scatabo. Yeah, I highly doubt that Ashton Jeanty is going to be there when the Broncos pick. I'll have to look and double check and make sure what pick the Broncos officially end up with. But yeah, I don't think Jeanty is going to be there. I also don't think that the two tight end prospects are going to be there either. Colston Loveland and Tyler Warren. I don't think they're going to be there either. We got Steelers Nation Australia in the house. Good to see you, Mark. Good season, Gage. You're doing awesome here on the channel. Hey, man, you guys had a good season, too. Sorry that you guys had to experience the wrath of Russell Wilson. That's pain that we can definitely sympathize with here in Denver. But, yeah, man, good season for you guys as well. Glad you are doing well, Mark. It was really cool seeing that you got to get out to Pittsburgh for that game and got to experience that in person. That is really, really cool. Yes, we need a run game and a reliable tight end. We need a new safety to replace PJ. He has been getting burned. A lot of drop balls from Franklin and Vele. RD could not stop the run. And all of those can basically be attributed to shortcomings on the roster. And those are all areas that are going to have to be addressed in the offseason. We allowed 299 yards on the ground. Ooh, man, ouch. I did not realize it was that bad. I caught the first half of that game, and then I ended up having to record my pregame show for this game, so I didn't get a chance to finish the game, but that is just rough. That is terrible. What about inside linebackers? I've been complaining about this for years. Free agency or draft for better inside linebacker play? I don't know, man. I talked about this in the game stream, how it's just hard to find good off-ball linebackers with colleges playing a lot of spread offenses and stuff like that. So it's going to be tough, man, to find a high-quality off-ball linebacker both in the draft and free agency. Denver's going to have to look hard. All right, guys, Sean Payton is at the podium, so we're going to go ahead and dip out of here so I can bring you guys the post-game press conferences. Before we do dip out of here, guys, if you could just do me a big favor and leave a like on this stream as well as subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are both free and easy ways to show your support, helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. All right, guys. And until next time, I will be pumping out videos after we get done with the press conferences. I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.